Hey there, and welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Sometimes, when you look in the mirror, you might not fully see it, and other times, hearing it from someone else might feel unbelievable. But if you're a woman over 60 and have ever wondered if your beauty still matters, here's the truth. It absolutely does, not despite your age, but because of it. There are subtle signs all around you, quiet, gentle, and often unnoticed. They don't shout or demand attention. Instead, they show up as respect, genuine focus, and a vibrant energy. True, mature beauty isn't about trying to look younger. It's about being unforgettable in your own unique way. Take the first sign, for example. You still turn heads, but it's different now. When you were younger, attention might have come from bright lipstick or a stylish outfit. Now it's the way you walk into a room, calm, confident, shoulders relaxed, with a graceful posture. There's a silent strength in how you carry yourself. People might not realize they're drawn to you, but they are, not because you're flashy, but because you shine with quiet confidence. The second sign, younger women take notice. You may not realize it, but when a younger woman says, "I hope I look like you at your age," that's not just small talk, that's admiration. You've become someone they look up to. They might ask what moisturizer you use or where you bought that scarf. But what they're really asking is, how do I carry myself like you? They see the peace in your face, the way you laugh without apology, the way you walk into a room like you own your space. That kind of presence is magnetic. Third, your compliments have changed. Gone are the days when someone would say, "You look cute." Now it's elegant, striking, ageless. Those aren't just words, they're acknowledgements. People see something in you that goes beyond surface looks. They see how you carry decades of experience in your smile, how your eyes sparkle with stories they want to hear. Your beauty isn't loud. It's not desperate to be seen. It's the kind of beauty that walks in and without saying a word, gets noticed. The fourth sign is the way men respond to you. It's not the same as it used to be. Sure, it's not whistles and winks anymore. It's something slower, more deliberate. A gentleman might hold the door a little longer. A younger man might strike up a conversation that lingers longer than necessary. They might not flirt in obvious ways, but their eyes linger. They ask questions. They want to know more about you. And it's not just courtesy. It's quiet admiration, because your presence demands it. Fifth, you've stopped dressing for approval. That's a major sign. You wear what makes you feel good. You don't care if something's trendy. You know what works for your body, your mood, your rhythm. You've refined your style over the years like a signature, and people notice it. They might not always say something, but they're watching. That long coat, that pop of colour. That way you wear earrings like they're extensions of your personality. That's beauty. And it's yours, not borrowed. Another sign, you intimidate people sometimes, not because you're mean or harsh, but because you're sure of yourself. That kind of self-possession is rare, especially in a world that constantly tells women to be smaller, quieter, more agreeable. You're not rude, you're clear. And when you walk into a room, people feel that. Some are drawn to it, others don't know how to handle it, but no one ignores it. And finally, the seventh sign might be the most important one. Every once in a while, when you catch yourself off guard, maybe in a mirror, maybe in a passing reflection, you pause for just a second. Something catches your eye. Not your wrinkles, not your grey hairs, something else. A glow, a softness, a strength. You might brush it off, but that tiny moment of recognition, that's your beauty staring back at you. You've lived, you've loved, you've cried, you've rebuilt. And somehow, through it all, you've emerged not just older, but richer, wiser, and yes, more beautiful. That beauty isn't loud. It doesn't ask for attention, but it gets it anyway. Let's go a little deeper now, past what people see on the outside, because real beauty after 60 doesn't live on your face. It lives in your habits, your energy, and your presence. And once you begin to recognize that, you start to realize something powerful. You're not just good-looking, you're magnetic. One of the clearest signs, you've stopped apologizing. You no longer feel the need to say sorry for taking up space, for having an opinion, for laughing too loud. You've earned the right to be here exactly as you are. That kind of freedom radiates from you. It makes people pay attention. They might not know what it is, but they feel it. It's the energy of a woman who doesn't need permission anymore. Another sign, you don't need validation. You still enjoy a compliment, sure, but your self-worth isn't hanging on it. You're not chasing approval from others. You don't wait for someone to tell you that you're attractive or valuable. You already know. And when someone who knows her worth walks into a room, people notice. Not because she's loud, but because she's solid. Your smile has changed too. In your 20s, you might have smiled to be polite. In your 40s, maybe out of habit. But now, when you smile, it's because you mean it. It's because you find something truly funny, or deeply sweet, or just plain joyful. That kind of smile lights up your whole face, and it's one of the most beautiful things a person can witness. Authentic joy. It's rare, and when people see it on you, it's unforgettable. Here's another one. Your silence carries weight. When you pause before speaking, people listen. You're not speaking to impress anyone. You're speaking because you have something to say. And when you don't speak, that silence says something too. It says you're measured, you're thoughtful, you're present. That's elegance, that's beauty. And it doesn't fade, it deepens. You also have your rituals, your small sacred habits. Maybe it's the way you take your morning tea in silence, or how you always put on lipstick before leaving the house, even if it's just to buy milk. These rituals aren't vain, they're anchors. They remind the world and yourself that you're still showing up, that you still care, that you're still you. And those tiny acts of devotion to your appearance and well-being, they tell a quiet story of self-respect. Let's not forget your eyes. Because if there's one feature that doesn't age, it's those. Sure, the skin around them might crinkle, but the eyes themselves, they stay fierce, wise, kind. Eyes that have seen decades of joy and pain, of chaos and calm. Eyes that say, I've lived. That kind of depth pulls people in. It makes them feel safe, curious, inspired. You don't have to dress up your face when your eyes already tell your whole story. And speaking of stories, you have them and you know how to tell them. You've lived through eras that younger people only read about. You've loved and lost. You've made choices that shaped your life. And when you share those stories, people listen. Not because you're trying to impress, but because your experience adds gravity to your words. That voice of lived truth, that's beauty. It's wisdom wrapped in grace. You also dress with intention now. Not for trends, not to impress, but to feel like yourself. Maybe it's a silk scarf that reminds you of a trip to Paris. Maybe it's your favorite blouse that always makes you stand taller. Maybe it's the comfortable shoes you once resisted but now adore. Every piece you put on tells the world a bit about who you are. That kind of style, it's not found in magazines. It's found in women like you. You don't chase the spotlight, but somehow it still finds you. Because the kind of beauty you carry now isn't seeking attention. It commands it naturally, effortlessly. You walk in, and people notice, even if they don't understand why. It's not makeup, it's not youth. It's presence. And it doesn't end there. When you laugh, it's real. When you listen, it's full. When you speak, it matters. You're not here to impress. You're here to connect. That shift in intention, that's powerful, and it shines through everything you do. You are good-looking, not in the old sense of the word, but in a richer, deeper, more magnetic way. And you don't need anyone to tell you anymore. Let's talk about something nobody really says out loud. You've become the kind of woman people watch when they think you're not looking. Not because of your outfit or your hairstyle, it's because there's something in your stillness, your gaze, your presence that feels different. And that difference, that's beauty that's been sharpened by time. You've learned to be selective with your energy. That might not sound like a sign of being good-looking, but hear me out. When a woman over 60 walks away from nonsense, from gossip, from people who drain her, it shows. It shows in her posture, in her peace, in her glow. You're not bitter. You're just no longer interested in performing, and that self-protection makes you radiant. There's something intensely attractive about a woman who knows her limits and honors them. People often underestimate you at first. They see a woman with silver hair or laugh lines and assume softness. Then you speak. You tell a story. You challenge a thought. And they sit up straighter. That shift, the moment someone realizes you are not to be dismissed, is electric. And it doesn't come from anger. It comes from presence. A calm, rooted kind of beauty that builds over time. You've also become generous with your words, not because you're trying to please people, but because you've learned how powerful kindness can be. You see someone struggling and you say, "You're doing great." You notice a stranger's smile and say, "That colour looks amazing on you." These are small things, but they land like music. Beautiful women lift other women. And the fact that you do it so naturally, that's another clue you've still got it. Now let's talk about the way you move. There's no rush anymore. You walk like you have time because you do. You've stopped running for things that don't matter. And that steady pace, it's graceful. It's controlled. It says, "I've arrived and I don't need to prove anything." There's nothing frantic about the way you move through the world. And in a time when everything feels fast and loud, that quiet elegance stands out. Another sign, you don't compare yourself anymore, not like you used to. You're not trying to look like someone else's idea of beauty. You've learnt that beauty is personal. It's not measured in dress sizes or smooth skin. It's measured in how you feel in your own body, in your own skin. And that sense of ownership, that's rare. That's why people notice you. You're not trying to be anyone else. You're just deeply, unapologetically you. You've also developed what I call seasoned charm. It's not the bubbly flirtation of youth. It's something more subtle, a quick wit, a knowing smile, a perfectly timed eyebrow raise. You don't need to dominate a conversation. You just drop one line that leaves the whole room laughing or thinking. That effortless charisma is hard to define, but people feel it. They're drawn to it, and often they walk away thinking there's something about her. You've stopped seeking closure from the past. You're not replaying old arguments in your head anymore. You're not waiting for people to change or say sorry. That acceptance frees your face. It softens your expression. It makes you look peaceful. And peace is stunning. You might not have realized it, but emotional growth shows. You wear it, and it changes how people see you. Even the way you rest is different now. You're not collapsing from burnout. You're resting by choice. You sit on the porch with a cup of tea. You watch birds. You take naps unapologetically. That kind of rest, that glow that comes from not rushing, not overdoing, it adds something to your face, your posture, your vibe, and it makes people think, "She looks so well." You're also not afraid to be alone, not anymore. And that comfort and solitude, that's strength. You can go to a cafe alone and enjoy your book. You can sit through silence and not fill it with noise. That's self-containment. That's magnetic. People often confuse it for mystery, but it's not mystery. It's wholeness, and it's beautiful. So if you've ever thought, "I used to be pretty," stop right there. You still are. In fact, you're likely more attractive now than you ever were. Not because of how you look, but because of everything you've become. Here's the truth. Most women don't realize they're beautiful until long after others already see it. You might think your best days are behind you, that the glow has faded, that you've somehow stepped out of the spotlight. But what if I told you you've only just stepped into it? Because beauty at this stage isn't about being the youngest in the room. It's about being the most real. You're not trying to prove anything anymore. You're not worried about being perfect. You've stopped pretending to be smaller, quieter, less complicated, and instead you've become you completely. That right there is irresistible. One of the clearest signs: you've stopped chasing trends. You're not constantly trying the latest serum or the hottest new look. You've settled into what suits you, what feels like home on your skin, your hair, your clothes, your scent. It's all chosen, not copied. And when everything you wear aligns with who you are, people feel it. They can sense when a woman knows herself. That's what gives you your glow. You don't rely on external approval anymore either. You don't wait for someone to say, "You look good," because now you already know when you do. You look in the mirror and think, "Yes, this is me, and I love her." Maybe not every day, maybe not every angle, but most days, in some small way, you smile at your own reflection. That moment, that recognition, that's beauty. Not the kind others give you, but the kind you claim for yourself. Your voice has changed too, not in sound, but in power. You speak more slowly, more purposefully. When you offer advice, people listen, not because you demand attention, but because you've lived enough to have something worth saying. And when a woman speaks from experience instead of insecurity, her words carry weight. That's not just wisdom. It's a kind of beauty that settles deep in the room. You've also stopped being afraid of change. You've accepted that life evolves, that your body, your relationships, your priorities, they all shift, and instead of resisting, you've adapted. That flexibility is powerful, that grace in letting go of the past, embracing what is, and welcoming what's to come. It's radiant. It gives your beauty a softness that's impossible to imitate. Your home reflects it too, the way your space feels. It's not cluttered with things you don't need anymore. It's curated, cozy, filled with little pieces of your life, photos, books, plants, fabrics that feel like joy. When someone walks into your space, they feel comforted, held, and that's a reflection of you. Your outer world now mirrors your inner calm. That's not just beautiful, it's magnetic. Even the way you touch people has changed. You no longer offer hurried hugs or distracted kisses on the cheek. When you embrace someone now, it's intentional. It lingers. It says, "I'm here with you." That tenderness, that slowness, it changes the way people feel in your presence. It creates a space where they can exhale. And that kind of energy is the most attractive thing in the world. You've also learned the art of boundaries. You don't say yes just to avoid conflict. You say yes when it aligns with your peace. And when it doesn't, you say no gently, firmly, and without guilt. That clarity, that self-honoring, it changes the way people treat you. It teaches them how to respect you. And there's nothing more beautiful than a woman who respects herself out loud. So here's the final sign. You've stopped chasing youth. You've stopped looking back. And you've started owning now this moment, this age, this version of you. You've realized that being a good-looking older woman doesn't mean trying to look young. It means being fully present in the skin you're in, with all the grace, grit, and glow that comes with it. And here's the best part. When you finally embrace that, everything shifts. Your laugh gets louder, your walk gets bolder, your smile gets softer, and you become the kind of beautiful people don't forget. Not because you look like a model, but because you look like you. So, if you've been waiting for permission to see yourself the way others already do, let this be it. Take a moment, breathe deeply, and gaze into the mirror. If you need to, say it aloud. I am still beautiful. The truth is, your beauty never faded. It has only grown, transforming into something unforgettable. If you've watched this video all the way through, it means something resonated within you. That gentle nudge in your heart, that quiet voice whispering, "Yes, that's me." That's your beauty awakening. Let it glow brightly. If this message touched you, please subscribe to Timeless Wisdom and share the city you're watching from in the comments. Together, let's celebrate and reveal the breathtaking beauty of women embracing their age with grace.